Welcome to your Englishman Bay handmade, no needle, heads down sheep kit. This is everything that comes in your kit: popsicle stick, the ears, the body, and the yarn. This is the hole to hang it if you want to hang it up as an ornament later, and you would do that at the very end. Take a picture with your cell phone before you start so you can always find that hole. Once you're all done making it, then you would find this hole with a needle and thread, or a needle and section of yarn, or whatever you want to be able to hang them up. And this is the ear hole. Okay? Take the ears, and you're going to wiggle it, put it into the ear hole, and wiggle it through. They really do fit. No, it doesn't look like it. They fit in, so you can push them a little bit. He's going through. Then you're going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. Wiggle it through that way, up, down. See what I'm going to the top of his head, to his chin, just up and down, and then you can wiggle it through. Be gentle. The felt can tear, but they do fit. So this is your heads down. It's very similar to the heads up, but there are some a little bit subtleties, so that's why I'm making this. So again, behind the right ear, hold the string with your thumb. And you're going to go over the head, under the chin, and cross over the top in an 8, and an X. And I'm going to do that a couple times. Behind the ear, over the crop to the head, under the chin, over again. Right? You can see I'm just wrapping around, and then 8 around the ears. Oops. I caught the ear. I can pull it out so it doesn't get held down. I'm probably going to do that a third time, because with this gauge of yarn, it's about right. Okay, so there we are. That looks about good. That looks good with enough yarn on either side of the face. Completely up to you. Now we're going to wrap the neck a little bit. We're going to go around the neck, hopefully not catch the ears. Go around a couple times there, just to cover up the plywood. And as this is variegated yarn, you're going to want to, you may want to choose how your design happens with the colors. That's fine. Just wrap and unwrap. It's okay. You might want to do it differently. Okay, the neck's been wrapped. The next thing is to rotate them. And now we have to cover the back part of the plywood. The only way to do this is to go front to back. So we're going to go like this. We're going to hold it down with my thumb here and go front to back. But we're going to go over the high part here and front to back. And the longer the diagonal, the better it's going to hold. So go like that. Go over the back to the front, to the back, to the front, to the back, to the front. Now this you want to be neat with, how these are stacked, because these will be pretty visible at the end. At the front, you just don't want to pig pile them all in the same place, but it's okay if they cross over. This is less visible, it'll be okay. But you're going to keep wrapping back, back to front, a little bit like that. Back to front, back to front. So at some point here, I'm going to switch to come to the underside. So I'm just loosely holding this here so I can guide it underneath, right? You want to be careful how much yarn you build up here, because this can get kind of bulky in here. So just be careful. You probably just want a few winds coming to the underside there, like that. Okay. Just check here to make sure it's not too stuffed in there. It'll get too bulky. We'll do one more. Okay. So I have a couple, I think I have 4 count, 5 count there, and most of them are above the head. You got to be careful because you can make it look like a buffalo. So I'm going to hold this tight with my left finger. Going to hold it down. So I'm going to switch direction now, going now up to down vertically. And I'm going to do probably 2 windings here that are really quite tight. So now everything that's been wound down is being held in place by these verticals. Eating up my yarn. You can see that the back is not perfect. We can fix that. Because I want it to look neat. Just use your finger to get in there, neaten it up. Neaten that up. So you want that all neat because it will be visible later. So here are the verticals. I'm going to come now to wrap around the neck. Wrap around. Do a couple verticals this way. And I'm going to come around the neck. And we only have to create a web over this. Right, so we're going to build up the neck a little bit. Like that. To fill that in. And then you're going to start going diagonally like this. Because I'm just going to create some diagonals to fill in that space. This is loose. That's okay. Don't worry about it. You're going to hold it down with these that I'm putting on now, which will be tighter. It's okay. Okay. These are all pretty tight. They're holding them down. See, I kind of goofed that. There's that funny gap, so I'm just going to undo it. You can always undo, especially on these yarn, the wrapping ones. So I just want to make sure I'm getting good coverage and you don't get any gaps in there like that. Okay? Make sense? Cover it up so it doesn't look like an error. And see, it wants to go down. So I'm just going to come down and build it up once more over that. Does that make sense? So the height is the same. I just filled it in a little bit. Keep going. I'm going to catch this yarn this time so it looks like it belongs. Right? There you go. How's that? So there's, and now we're going to go back now that the only thing that's left to do is to fill in the body. Oops, so we'll do this. So we're going to start wrapping vertically. We got to fill in these little gaps. See, you're just filling in to cover the plywood. You just think of it as your objective is to fill in the plywood. Let's go do the back here. Making a mess of myself here. And about here, best way to cover this hip area, again, is to do a similar angle. So from here, start going at an angle. These are going to be tight, again, to hold on there. So wrapping around, stacking neatly. So probably I did 5 rows there. And on this side, it's also neat. And now I'm going to switch to going vertically. And these vertical passes are holding down this angle so they don't slide down off the sheep, but they're being held in place. So these first couple ones are really tight. Then after this, the rest of the yarn is just going to be to fill out his the girth of the chubbiness of the sheep, which is totally up to the maker, how chubby you would like them to be. So we'll just go around a couple times here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going around. Just looking at the chubbiness. I think I'd like them a little chubbier. So I'll keep going. Keep wrapping, keep wrapping. Trying to be kind of neat about it because you will see it, right? You will see all the rows of yarn that are the layers or the rows that you put down. You will see it. Okay. Let's check its chubbiness. That's pretty good. Oop, look at that. That's a piece of plywood. So we'll work our way down here a little bit and cover up that plywood. Or I could try and do it with my finger like that just to work it out a little bit. That's pretty good. So I'm going to cut this off here a pair of scissors. You can go all the way to the end. You can add it or not. That's up to you. And it, again, about a inch. Well, you know, the section about the last digit of my finger. You're going to take this and you want to bury it. So you're going to stick it into the body so that the tension of all these other things holds down the end. Right? You're tucking it back in on itself. So there you go. And then the nice thing about the yarn is it's very arrangeable. So you can even it out a little bit to cover some sins, and over here cover some sins. There you go. Some of the kits have larger diameter yarn. It's the same principle. It'll be less windings, but it's the same process to wrap it around.